I just realized my mic was muted this whole time. Hello, everyone! How's it going? Oh yeah, I need to make more
I'm
of the little...
Ballcutter29.
Thank you for following, Aspen. Welcome. And Light and Ross. And Miko. Oh, people keep pulling Miraju. I wonder what that means. I should commission a background for my intro. I think with the anomaly thing, you have to do anomaly and then someone's username. Hi, CJ. Bucky. Mika did not survive the Great Anomaly. That's too bad. Freya did not survive. Oh, stream's over. I died. It's over. Aspen did not survive. That's too bad. Ross survived. Well, really, how is everyone going? I heard someone had a birthday. I don't know if they're in stream, but happy birthday to them. We have less stuff than last time. Also, the music, I'm playing my own music this stream. We'll see if that gets the vibe right. I was kind of sick of the fantasy music. Comet did not survive. Light did not survive. Virgil did not survive. Pancake did not survive. Hi, Frog. Glacier did not survive. Fluffy did not survive. That's too bad. Unfortunate. Ross is all alone. Cam did not survive. So over. Well, I'll get started in another minute here. Want to make sure anyone who wants to join can. This is so tragic. No one's surviving, dude. This is I mean, to be fair, it's like a 1 in 10 chance that you live. No one is surviving except for Ross. You forgot to post the video. Oh no. If you post it now, I won't say anything. We can watch it. There's not that much in Lore Tuesday this week, so I think we're chilling. Oof. Well, at least you died together, Mika. Oh, you're in the car! Oh no! It's so over. It's okay. Special edition, first thing we watch next week. It's fine, I'll just decay! That's such a funny way of saying that. The Great Anomaly, take me now? Alright, Mika. Did Frog survive the Great Anomaly? Anomaly. Frog did not survive. There you go! Anomaly took you. Yeah, we get some pancake lore this week. Alright. We have... Oh my god, what happened? Hold on. Hold on, I disappeared. I think that's because I moved where... There we go. There's that. Webcam. Here I am. I have this beautiful tie made by Myth. Ugh! I feel like this needs to be zoomed in more. I don't like... Hold on. I do this. This. When will the server Among Us be? I don't know. Is there a server Among Us? I didn't know there was such a thing. Ow. How dare you? Alright, this is much better. I want it to be zoomed in. Okay. Let us get started. Okay. We have some lore sheets first. We have Hexon 53. Wait a minute. Is that like... Oh, yeah. Hexon was once a regular mechanical scarab owned by Magos Solvex. This is Scarab 53. For those who don't know, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. This Scarab 53 was Magos' wife's favorite scarab. And is like the most advanced. I'm pretty sure. After his many months as the top employee of the hospital, he was tasked with... Is this what the scarabs look like? I thought they were tiny. Are they, like, huge? He was tasked with destroying failed cures created by Lucky and Magos. Ooh. However, the impact caused these failures to rain down upon him. This is sort of
I'm
chemical...
Ball Cutter 29.
Welcome. Thank you for following. It's Rex! Hi, Rex. However, the impact caused these failures to rain down upon him. Oh, this assortment of chemicals caused Scarab 53 to change and mutate into a new form. I see. That's why it's big. With his newfound power, he seeks to find Magos Solvex and keep the remaining scarabs out of harm. Ooh, by consuming organic biomass, he is able to adapt and change. Really good with technology, doesn't have a funny bone. That's great. This one did evolve. It's so over. Top employee of the hospital! Oh, light. Maybe, I think Magos probably did pick favorites, if we're being honest. I'm assuming he's the top employee of another hospital. Is it another hospital? It says the hospital. Scarab Hospital. When I can post my character sheet in Lore Tuesday. You can post it in Lore Sheets. So we have the Lore Sheets channel and we have the Lore Tuesday channel. Lore Tuesday is for, like, character updates. So if something happens, you have an interaction with another character you want to write about, you can kind of scroll through there and look at what other people have done. But if you have a general, like, introduction to your character, I will say Lore Sheets, character sheets should be very short, like this. This is a perfect one. You just have, like, basic elevator pitch of what your character is like. You could have fun facts or whatever. Important things to know, but you don't have to put the whole backstory on there. You already did. Okay, we're good then. Florence Esther. Commander, let's see. I'm trying to read. Okay, well, there's not really like a backstory or anything, but we can read graduate of ARII, safety specialist, invented transdimensional broadcast, space/ground chief. Commander, I'm picking up life forms from that planet up ahead. Should we land? Awesome sauce, another human. We have a lot of humans this season. Yeah, like Trigel says, so many. Last season it was like Marcello and Trigel, and that's it. Did someone say humans? I'm excited. My secondary character's human. Well, did I make... Yeah, I made a lore sheet for Caitlin way back earlier. We have John Minecraft. John is an enigma born from the void. With no real purpose when he was first created, John often finds himself wandering the lands between searching for a spark of something useful to do. Most times the enigma is alone, letting the silence creep at his heels as he travels. But in this life he is accompanied by a man made of smoke and an ice cream creature. Despite his reclusive lifestyle, John is rather open and friendly to everyone he comes across. They often treat anyone with respect and gratitude, hoping they would later do the same for him. While his true motive is unknown for now, John prides himself on helping any person he comes across, assisting with the collection of materials, finding biomes for them, looting structures, and splitting the spoils. Overall, he hopes he can gain the trust of the lands for an ulterior motive. Beef, come here. Come here. Come up here. Let me see. I'm gonna move. Hold on. We have Beef Cam. Hi, Beef. There she is. The baby. You have something to say? She wants to rub up on my elbow. That's what she wants to do. Do this. What's up? She's missing Virgil because he's gone at work. Just got a new job that requires him to be away from home. And she's very sad. Baby. Baby Beef. Aw, little flop. Yeah, okay, hold on. she's yeah, a little obsessed. Baby beef. All right, we have Adolin, sorry. Oh, bye beef. Aelin Casimir, a traveling demi-goddess from the rim-world moon Hinoki. Aelin came to Solace in search of her late brother Antos, who was murdered by Eclipse shortly before her arrival. Aelin has a strange fascination with mortals, having studied medicine and developing a morbid obsession with death and mortality. Though she has trouble understanding them sometimes, her tendency to play God stems from a genuine desire to make people's lives better, even if sometimes she causes more harm than good. Awesome lore sheet, by the way. This is like peak lore sheet. I love all of the little pieces of like, you get the whole character design, you get some of the personality just from the like color and everything. You have like good and bad traits, or likes and dislikes, I guess. Really awesome. This is perfect. Atlas Voss, a traveling knight from the planet of Edria. Thank you for the pronunciation. To spread the word of the luminous order with his priestess. Ooh. I did a whole what would Freya look like if she met your character first instead of Marcelo? This was... That just could not be loaded. Yeah, this was the image I was given, so I drew Freya like this. Very cool character design. Hi, Cece. Wow, Cece. I changed the time specifically for you Europeans, and you're still late. Beef is back. She's here to say hello. Put you up here so you can see her. There she is. Are you gonna chill up there, or are you gonna be obnoxious? Let me move my thing here again so that it's... Hold on. There we go. It's good enough. Yeah. I know. He'll be back in 45 minutes. Oh, she's gone again. She just can't make up her mind. I did delete the beef, but she's in the other corner. Okay. Vote to replace Freya with beef? I'd vote yes. We have Robert Hearthwell, occupation Cabo's chef to tavern owner. Robert, aka Bob, this sounds like someone I know, was born on Earth. A lot of Earth-specific humans. Now, I will say for anyone who wants to have their character be from Earth, it is very different from Earth today, considering it is 500 years in the future. We have lots of info about that on the wiki. If your character's from Earth, they were very privileged, because anyone from the core is, really. It's a great place to live compared to the Rim, where a lot of other people live. The Rim is the edge of the Soul Pact Union. My mom got me that burger she promised me last year and didn't get me. A year later. Is it because of the stream, or is it because, like, just happened to me? Earth people are Nepo babies, you know? Marcelo's from Earth. He lived a great, very posh life. Anyone from Earth, that's like, you're like from New York City. You know, you grew up in... Yeah, it's like New York City, or it's like, I don't know, what's like big capital cities in the world. Why am I being bonked? Alright. He loved cooking from a very young age and enjoyed learning from his family. After going to culinary school, he decided to enlist in the Navy so he could get a chance to see the universe and try its many unique foods. He got the scar across his face while serving during the Cayenne War. Ooh. He ended up on the Cabo as its head chef and is now running the Velvet Spoon Tavern to give free food to the people of Solace. Love this character. Awesome. Alright, that's it for lore sheets. We're scrolling back all the way to the 9th for Lore Tuesday posts. Let's see. What was the last thing we read? Oh yeah, we're reading The Regime first because this was re-uploaded to better fit the rules of the server, I believe. IBD2. I don't know what this means. I was born to my father and mother on the planet Ute, a planet blessed with good fortune from the gods, but now a military dictatorship ruled over us. I lived in the clan of wanderers in the land outside the main city of the planet, which was controlled by the regime. Our clans were subject to frequent dangers, including monstrous wildlife. I should read content warning for violence, graphic imagery, and animal death. Our clans were subject to frequent dangers, including monstrous wildlife that blooms under the umbral sun and stalkers sent by the regime to kill the clans who rejected the city's ways. When I was young, I witnessed my father mercilessly slaughter the stalkers with a brutality fueled by bloodlust that I also felt. Me and my father shared our rage and bonded over it, until my father went soft after the clans started to shun my father for his brutality. I was disappointed in him for that. He tried to teach me patience by holding me back and forcing me to watch other clans be killed by stalkers. I was confused and enraged at him. I would bring down the regime, and he was stopping me. During one attack, several members of our clan were killed, including 2 clan uncles. I fought back and killed many of them, stealing a glaive from a corpse as I did so. My father was captured by the regime. The rest of the clan, including my mother, looked upon him with only fear and concern due to his brutality in the fight. During the night, when the clan danced a saying in tribute to the dead, I ripped apart a pet that belonged, that belonged to a clan child or something. That's a crazy sentence. During the night when the clan danced and sang in tribute to the dead, I ripped apart a pet that belonged to a clan child or something. The clan was horrified, although I felt powerful, but in that moment I feared that made me a monster. Maybe. Mother and the others looked at me with concern, not for my injuries, but for those who suffered at my hands, and they were right to do so. Tearing their bodies to pieces brought me only joy. What am I? 1 year later, I was forced to live in exile from my clan due to my bloodlust being viewed as a liability. While the clan has not been attacked since that night, I stalked the area around the abyss which separated the wildlands from the regime's city. I hunted the stalkers with my weapon in hope of finding my father and rescuing him from the regime, bringing him back to the clan. Although I killed hundreds of stalkers over that year, I found no sign of my father. I felt lost without his guidance. My search came to an end when I finally found my father, donned in the robes of the regime. I was infuriated with my father's defection to the regime. I believed him to be a coward who only sought survival. I was put on trial in the city for my alleged crimes against the regime, but I was spared when my father testified on my behalf and requested that I be made to serve as a city stalker. This only served to infuriate me, as I wondered if my father truly cared about our clan and family, or if it was only an opportunist who would do or say anything he needed to survive. I swore to myself that I would ensure my father would die by my hand. Despite my hatred for my father, I began to learn more about the city Uteans and their philosophies. Although I found their government strict in laws with power concentrated in the hands of a few, the overcrowded city still had a higher standard of living and comfort than the wanderers who faced terrible dangers in the wildlands. I discovered that the regime was also honest in its intentions, unlike my father. With this new information, I began to reconsider the conflict between the regime and wanderers and realized that both sides' hands were stained with blood, not just the regime's, as my father had always taught me. My father eventually confessed to me that he was not truly loyal to the regime. I was infuriated again by my father's continued lies. We fought, but my father managed to escape from me in the city. Pursuing him, I tracked him to his clan's last refuge in the wildlands. I found it abandoned, but with numerous important personal items and supplies left behind. I inferred that the clan had fled quickly after my father's return. I believed that they would take refuge near the abyss. I found my former clan hiding near the abyss, with my father seemingly planning on smuggling the surviving wanderers into the city through nearby tunnels. I emerged from the forest to confront them. I noticed that many familiar faces were no longer amongst the clan, although my father, my mother, and the clan mother remained alive. My father claimed that they had been expecting me to join them. My mother and father both apologized for their wrongs against me and expressed their love for me. The clan mother apologized for exiling me, while my father expressed regret for indoctrinating me into hating the regime and claimed that all he wanted now was for our clan to live in peace and safety. I believed I could see the honesty in their eyes, and I thought that perhaps that was the path to follow, allowing his parents to embrace and comfort him. However, they took that opportunity to shove me back into the abyss. As I fell, I cursed my naivete and looked at the faces of my clan, which no longer held regret, but only relief at my presumed end. The regime took all that mattered to you, and yet you blamed your father. The regime never lied about who they were. They were brutal, yes, but honest. Honesty meant something to you? It meant everything. Interesting. This must be on the other... I keep trying to open the water bottle, but it's already open. This must be... Oh yeah, on the planet Ute. I'm interested in seeing how... Does this say... Oh yeah, what is... I didn't see the character. Give me 1 second. But yeah, I'm curious how they got to Solace. Alright, we're gonna see a lot of counseling intake forms coming up because my secondary character is a therapist. If you want your character to go get therapy, there's an intake form. If you want, you don't have to fill it out. But it's an opportunity if you would like it. Trigal was from Earth. She was rich, yeah. Now I want everyone from Earth to have an extremely heavy New York accent. Well, what about Marcello, because he's Italian? So, like, everyone except Italians has a heavy New York accent. Although Virgil could probably do that way better than an Italian accent. We have Light's counseling intake form. First name Light, last name Auroras. Age 2200. Date of birth 11XXXX. Ethnicity Anisir Dragon. Not married, no children. Who do you live with? Lucky. They live together? My heart. Marcello also gets a New York City accent, but Italian. Why is my screen so dark? Because this is too much. Flashbang! Flashbang! Starry is technically Italian? Oh my god. Intern nurse, faction leader, worker at SUNC. Reasons for your visit. Due to a number of incidents, both on-planet and off-planet, I have recognized that I require the services of a therapist, especially so following the crash landing of the Cabo, an incident that had resulted in the loss of both of my legs. How's your emotional distress? 9. How much do the problems affect your daily life? 4. When did these problems start? Since the Great Anomaly and the war that followed on my home planet. Current habits. Smoking, no. Drinking sometimes, but I'm unable to get drunk. Gambling, no. Drug use, yes. I don't know. Does eating poisonous plants count? Caffeine intake. I hate the taste of coffee, but sometimes I will drink it to remain awake for a long work week. Exercise often. Eating normal besides the poisonous plants. Sleeping, horrible. I either don't sleep or I do sleep. Fun and relaxation sometimes. Please describe your relationship with each of the following people if applicable. Mother figure, none. Father figure, Iron Waters and Croy Forge male. Good besides... You know, I should probably change it to parental figures. Because, like... Yeah. Who is this, by the way? This is for Light. Siblings, Kron, Zinnia, and Balios Bloodhound. Good. Oh yeah, also good, besides one being frozen and the other being a ghost. Extended family, Valor, uncle, good. No children, no friends. Romantic partners, lucky. Colleagues, Truffle and Mars. Total number of close supportive relationships, 7. I can't really count Truffle or Mars. Stressful life events. Please describe any current significant or stressful life events that you have been experiencing. Economic, no. Health, yes. My legs are gone. Straight to the point. Family. My dad is missing and my family was hurt in the crash. Grief. I lost my mother and younger siblings to the Great Anomaly. My father killed the rest of my people, and Balios is blind because I had died. Caitlin's gonna, like, open this and be like... She's got her work cut out for her. What do you mean Balios is blind because I had died? Maybe we should talk about you dying. Oh, I can't wait to start doing these the therapy sessions. It's gonna be so much fun. Caitlin did miss a lot. She's gonna come here, because, like, okay, her backstory is that she was, like, a therapist. She was a counselor, specifically for like grief and family. And when the Great Anomaly happened, things were just overwhelming. You know, people are coming in with issues that like everyone else is having these same issues, and they're unsolvable. You got to work through so much. 90% of people disappearing. So Caitlin was just completely booked and got very stressed, completely burnt out. Ended up divorcing her wife because just like the stress was like so much. And yeah, so she quit and is very closed off and everything. So but then once she heard about the Navy call for anyone who is wanting to come to Solace to help out her ex-wife, they're still friends, was like, you should go. You know, this'll help, and it's like low pressure, whatever. The Navy will be there. You can always come back. So Caitlin's like, all right, I'll go. So she's here now. What are your positive qualities? What do you like about yourself? Some say that I am nice and kind. Others say that it's peaceful to be around me. I can't see those qualities in me. What plans do you have for the future? Survive, mostly. Just survive, heal, be there for my people and my family. What are your goals for counseling? To work through some issues. Is there anything else you'd like to mention? No. Zephyr is intake form. Also, if you'd like your character to go therapy, it is in the Lorem. In book a therapy session with Caitlin. There's the, you know what, I am going to change this right now to, I said mother and father figure, delete row. Parental, I can't spell. Parental figures. There we go. All right, counseling intake form for Zephyr. Zephyr Thunderguard, 29. May 3rd, 2470, hybrid, male, married? Married? I didn't know that. No children, lives with no one. Forge master for work. Reasons for your visit. My reason is simple. I have grief from my actions after the vanishing that I would like to dispel if I heard people I heard people speak of therapy, so I decided to try it in case it could help. I doubt it, though. How intense is your emotional distress? 5. Instead of circling, it's just... That's kind of funny. How much do the problems affect your daily life? 6. When did these problems start? When I was 8. Current habits. None. Caffeine intake, a can a day. A can of what a day? Exercise 2 to 3 hours daily, eating when needed, sleeping when exhaustion hits. Fun and relaxation. Who has time for that? Relationships. Mother and father figure dead. Siblings dead. Extended family dead or still wandering Finda. No children, no friends. Dead romantic partners. Dead colleagues. Total number of close supportive relationships, 0. Stressful life events. No. Family. My family died in front of me and I killed my wife. Social. I don't know how to make friends. Grief. I have it, yet don't know how to let it free. How to let it free to be with those I did wrong. What are your positive qualities? I am strong with my magic, and even stronger in the skies. What plans do you have for the future? Once Balios is gone, I shall head back to Finda and live out my life there. What are your goals for counseling? To help me through my grief. I can see something else that maybe you need to... Revenge, perhaps? You need to work through? Nothing else to mention. Oh, this is going to be so fun. I can't wait. Balios' therapy intake form. Eats 1 aluminum can of caffeine every day. 1 can of pure liquid caffeine. Low pressure job. Every single person on Solace with a traumatizing backstory. Yeah. No, she goes here because she's like, okay, yeah. Planet on the Rim, whatever. This is some Navy thing. It's probably fine. It's not fine. You got your work cut out for you. Please let me give Waters therapy. Please. I'm having to do so much research into like psychology and stuff too. I love this stuff. When I made Yelena for the What If server, I've done so much like research into like medical training, specifically like on the field, like military medics and like what they do and stuff. It's really interesting. I joined like an Arma Milsim to like play as a medic, so that I could get more. It's not like the real thing, obviously, but like some experience that way. It's really fun. I love doing this kind of stuff. So now I get to go into psychology stuff. Caitlin, after reading Baelius' form, oh, you're the guy who went blind because my other client died. Okay. Oh, you also died. Great. Oh, this is great. This is so great. I can't wait because I'm not gonna do that much like lore with her unless anyone wants to. Her main thing is gonna be like her personal notes for all of these people she's giving therapy to. Oh my god. All right. Who's this Magos fella? Who's Ogo? What do you mean you got strapped to an electric chair and died? I think comment needs to be dragged to Caitlin. It's true. But will they? I will have Freya going to one session of therapy and then ditching. Because she's too scared. Okay. Baelius Bloodhound, 25, 910, 24, 73, hybrid, male, single, no children, lives with no one, does nothing for work. Reasons for your visit. My sister dragged me. How intense is your emotional distress? 8. How much do the problems affect your daily life? 9. When did these problems start? Childbirth. It makes it sound like you gave birth. I want Caitlin and Light to be friends. I think they'd be friends. I mean, but if Light is going to be a patient, there's going to be the patient, she's not going to be like super friends, but I think they will gain a rapport. I like how everyone puts hybrid, but never a hybrid of what they of the hybrid of what they are. Yeah. Baelios birth Tuesday. Postpartum. Postpartum depression. I'm sorry, that got me. Oh, that got me. Oh, that's too much. I am breathing. Postpartum depression. Okay, whew. I'm alive. Please describe your current habits in each of the following areas. Please, everyone fill one of these out. It's so funny. Some wine on occasion. 6 cans of energy drinks a day? 6 cans? You need to go to the hospital! Oh my god. That's insane! I'm surprised you haven't died like a 3rd time. Ugh. Exercise daily, eating sometimes, sleeping once a week, fun and relaxation. What is that? Please describe your relationship with each of the following people if applicable. Mother figure dead. Father figure Croy. I hope he still sees me as a son. Siblings Light, Kron, Frog. Extended family dead. Your children none. Friends 2. Light and Croy.
Ball Cutter 29.
Mel, thanks for following. It's only a heart attack. I fell at worse. Yeah, I've been electrocuted before. No romantic partners, no colleagues. I don't know how many close, supportive relationships I have. All right. Significant or stressful life events. Family. My sister blew in front of me. She's alive, though. I think blew up. Health. I lost my eyes as well, as I don't know whether I might die again. Social. Most people don't like me because I'm destructive. Oh. Grief. I know it's there, but I don't know how to deal with it. Oh. Positive qualities. I'm strong when it comes to strength. What plans do you have for the future? Just to live. What are your goals for counseling? To see if I could get any better with who I am. Nothing else to mention. Oh, these are too good. Postpartum depression. I gotta stop drinking water. I can't drink any more water ever because I keep laughing. I did not expect mortals flock to him again. The question is if he accepts his role or not. This build is so cool, by the way. I've gone and seen it. Really awesome. Hunger. Hexon lore. Status operational. Location ocean floor bed. Query. What is this aching from within this shell? That is such a ominous sentence. Searching. Organic material detected. Specification of organic material salmon. Hunting. Successful. Organic material consumed. Aching has stopped. That's also ominous as fuck. What the hell? That's scary. Organic material consumed. Aching has stopped. Trait adapted to shell. Better travel method in water. This right here is just a horror story. Bro hungers, yeah. I'm terrified. Arsats! Wreck stuff! Let's go! Alright, note. As of the incident, we were able to capture and contain an AirSat in prime condition for observation and research. I'll be writing several documents like this one as per my job, and I think if I don't make myself useful, I will be fired. Or arrested. I don't know what is worse. My name is Dr. Florence Monroe, one of the head researchers on Zorid 12. I hope my findings aren't too boring for you. I might eventually compile my works into tapes for the public to watch. You young folks like that sort of thing, right? Perhaps I should ask my son Elias. Anyways, I forget his... Hold on. Is it Elias? Elias wasn't the name of the guy that Rex, like, changed into, right? Or was it? I recognize the name Elias. Am I crazy? I have to go back and look. Wait, yes, it is! Elias. This is Elias's father's research. So that's why the ship was there. That was Elias's job. Oh my god. That's crazy. Anyways, please enjoy. I put a lot of work into making all of this as simple as possible to understand. My next entry will be that of AirSat biology. Stay tuned, Dr. M. AirSats, what are they? The definition of the German word ersatz. Oh, ersatz! Oh my god, I've been saying it wrong! Ersatz! Is an adjective that describes an artificial or inferior substitute for something else. Mother! Oh my god, I'm sexist! I'd like to apologize to every woman, and specifically every woman doctor. You are women, and you are amazing. I love women, and I would never mistake women for anything less than they are. I have a character who is a woman doctor, and I love that character. I I'd like to play you a song. I don't have a ukulele, but I have a banjo. So it's sad because I'm sad that women are doctors that get mistaken as men because of the doctor thing. Okay, I'm not actually gonna play a song, but that was embarrassing. I'm sorry. I'm not sad that women are doing. I'm not sad that women are doctors. I'm sad that women get mistaken for men as doctors. This time? Okay. We're going back to it. Here we go. Mother of Elias. Ersatz. It typically refers to a poor imitation of a genuine product, lacking the quality or authenticity of the original. An example would be off-brand coffee, Dairy Queen ice cream. Oh, you're saying Dairy Queen ice cream? Is it ice cream? Is it not? I love Dairy Queen. Is it not ice cream? And that half-cellulose Parmesan crap you sprinkle over your spaghetti. I can't do. Oh. I can't believe you would say such a thing about this. It's good. It's Parmesan. And that half-cellulose Parmesan crap you sprinkle over your spaghetti. Fake, imitation, artificial, synthetic, or faux. But what really is an Erstat? This document is here to answer all the questions you have. The life of an Erstat as its own shape is comfortably miserable, covered in dirt and hungry. Erstats, when not sleeping, some sleep cycles span up to 5 to 10 years, depending on stress factors or scarcity of food. Spend their time between two activities, being digging and hunting. Erstat burrows. Is it... I'm saying Erstat. Why am I saying Ersatz? Ersatz. An Ersat burrow. Ersat. An Ersat burrow, on average, is around 35 to 65 meters long, with an average depth reaching up to 15 to 75 meters underground. These burrows are similar to that of a rabbit, with many compartments to store food or other belongings for safekeeping. After a successful hunt, the Ersat will drag its prey inside, so the entrance is around a meter in circumference. Each Ersat burrow is exactly, if not more than 100 miles apart from one another. My only complaint about this document is that you're using meters and then miles. apart from one another, as to not encroach on one another's territory for hunting and digging. Ursot reproduction. As you should know by now, Ursots, with only one known exception, a certain Rex. How do they know about Rex? Or you're just tired, this is out of the thing. Hate the presence of other Ursots. It is for this reason that reproduction is done alone and pairing is unneeded. After an Ursot has had a good hunting year full of plenty of food, they will gain weight fairly quickly. To keep themselves quick and agile, the Ursot will divide itself much like a starfish, casting off a limb to protect itself from prey. This small heap of flesh will gain sentience and begin a new life. Usually, a Ursot spawn will remain with its predecessor for up to 20 years before taking off on its own. An Ursot prefers to only create spawn once, or better yet, never. This is why they often sleep for long amounts of time to keep itself from eating too often. Ara is so strong, everyone knows Rex. Maybe we only took on half of the metric system in the future. Have you ever considered that? The compromise. Ursot communication. Most communication, all audible sound, is simply a series of vibrations picked up by our ears. The natural language of an Ursot is not a pretty one. Their communication style similar to that of the dinosaur Dilophosaurus, through chirping, whistling, and clicking through teeth. Though they have such a different manner of speaking than we do, Ursots have the ability to learn languages and perfectly mimic words and sounds through observation alone. The things they say are not mindless or random. Every word and sound carries a purpose. If an Ursot were to watch the habits of an animal, it would likely learn everything it needs to learn it within under an hour. This is why it is often said to be a bad omen to bring radios into the Dulcia woods bordering known Ursots' burrowing grounds. Imagine an Ursots having you for dinner while telling you the sweet deals you can having you for dinner while telling you the sweet deals you can get on used cars downtown. In my alarm, there's an audio clip of the Ursot speaking. Yes! I really want to... I'm going to go back to that. I love that thing. Hold on. Oh, wrong thing. Hold on. It's up here. So curious how you made that sound. That's so cool. Or where you found it. That's so awesome. Please tell me that you're posting all of this in Lore Tuesday, by the way. Please tell me you're posting this in Lore Tuesday. I want to see it. It's so cool. If it's not a Lore Tuesday, then I will, where were we? I will be going back and looking at it because it's so cool. I love good world building like that and like character stuff, like species things. It's so fun. All right. Ursot hunting. Hunting is always done at night when visibility is low and prey is most confused, using mimicry to trick prey with both sound and appearance. When hunting animals, an Ursot will partially bury itself about a half a foot deep and wait, making sound correlating to the species. As an example, let's say an Ursot was hunting a deer. It would use a doe mating call or the cry of a fawn, depending on the gender of the deer. Then, when it walked within grabbing reach, the Ursot would lunge out from the ground and kill the prey. Are you prey? The simple answer is yes. When an Ursot is hunting more intelligent prey, say a person, well, you can probably imagine as you've likely watched horror movies or a scary YouTube series or played some sort of game about identifying fake people. Now, do not fear. Ursots would prefer to hunt animals, not people, due to how much time and effort they have to put into capturing one on average. Cases of death by Ursot is very low on Zorid 12, under 0.1%, sharing the same percentage as the rate of death by flu on Terra, or as you call Earth. I'm sure if the flu is like, if people are still dying from the flu in 500 years, that would really suck. I would be going into specific detail of how or giving examples of such hunting procedures as this document is purely scientific. Though if you really want to know, I can write another paper on Zora 12's disappearances, the discovery of unidentified buried remains near Mosa, and the murder of Troy Edam in 2413. I would love to hear about all of the above, thank you. This reminds me of elements of my genuine biggest fear, skinwalkers. Maybe it's referring to a guy named The Flu. Very dangerous guy. One doc each Tuesday? We do have a 3 document per week limit, so if you want to post 3 things per week, be my guest. Not that you have to, like, post that much, but I see you have a lot of stuff in the Lorem. I will wait then for you to post whenever you would like, but you could do 3 things per week. With the amount of antibiotics we abuse, I wouldn't doubt it becomes a giga flu. True. All right, that was really cool. Pancake has finally written something. It's been forever. Turn on the music again. This music would have been actually great for the Ersatz thing. There we go. A journal, stained yellow and torn with age, with more pages than seemed possible. How many years has it been? Hundreds? Thousands? I've stopped counting. This endless odyssey of tears and sorrow. At times I wonder, do you still await me at the end of this voyage? I've searched across countless worlds, found clues in every recess of every story I bore witness to, and yet there seems to be no conclusion in sight. My body has changed. I have not felt a need for sleep. My taste has long since vanished along with my appetite. My body no longer ages, and this crown of light adorns my head. Most of all, despite all this time, despite the sleepless nights and the taste of ash in my mouth, I remain sane. Am I the same as the one who began this journey? Am I the same one whom you rescued all those ages ago? I am unsure. Despite all these lifetimes, all these stories, my mind retains it all. Every story, every name, every face, every tragedy that befell them. Each hand that reached for salvation, each voice that cried for a loved one, and each silent moment that followed. This mind holds it all like a vice that cannot be loosened, and yet the face of the one who I have endured it all for, no matter how many times I scrape my memories. I can't remember your face. I remember your eyes, brighter than any gem. I remember your voice, more soothing than a summer breeze. I remember your hair, softer than freshly fallen snow. I remember your smile, the one that brightened the dark that had been my world for so long. I can remember all of it, yet I cannot recreate the whole, like pieces of a puzzle that no longer fit together. I have traveled for so long, fought so much, and witnessed such sorrow, all to see a face I can no longer recollect. Will it all be worth it once I see you again? Will you even recognize what I have become? Will I recognize what I have forgotten? I have met many along this path, but that was long ago. I learned that attachment only meant future anguish. So many lost, stolen away by the hands of death, and even if they weren't, once I reached the end of each story and grasped the next thread, I would be alone once again, dragged into a new world where no attachments may follow me, no home nor friends, a voyage of only one. So I told myself, do not become attached, do not reach for their hand, do not watch their tragedy, but this story where despite the tragedy they still hold on. Even in grief they struggle against the tide. Even as I lay in my isolation, one still reaches out to me. Despite how many times I told myself to not care, I became attached, and those words soon changed. I don't want to see this story's tragic ending. I have seen countless stories not reach their happy ending. People dying of war or disease, accidents cutting them short. It did not matter. Whether a story ended happily or in sadness, it would still reveal the thread, and I would move on to the next. Yet every time it ended in tragedy, it felt as though my heart would shatter again and again. Elieve, this endless pilgrimage you have set me on. If you still await me at the end of this path, can you wait just a little longer? Beautiful. Yay! We have Aster's intake form for counseling. I love these things. Aster Vask, 31, 1123, 2467, Russian, female, single. Oh, wait, that's not a good thing. You'll see why. No children. Who do you live with? KO, my best friend. Naval engineer for work. Reasons for your visit. I'm not entirely sure. I was advised by the Admiral that maybe this is the best way to deal with grief. How intense is your emotional distress? 6. I believe it is an expectation maybe given our line of work. How much do the problems affect your daily life? 1. I'm functioning just fine. When did these problems start? I was made aware of Marcello's death a while back. I think he was the first person who I felt showed me kindness for kindness' sake. Something I believe hardly exists out there. After that, I leaned on Caldera a lot. Since the crash and not being able to find the parts I need to help KO, things have not been quite the same. Habits. Smoking social, drinking social. No gambling. Drug use, none. Caffeine intake, frequent. Exercise, frequent. Eating, sometimes. I usually have KO remind me. Sleeping, infrequent, sporadic. Fun and relaxation. Delving into my work is the way I relax. Please describe your relationship with each of the following people, if applicable. Mother figure, Iris, none. Father figure, Rin, none. Siblings, Seth, June, none. Extended family, children, friends. Friends, KO. Romantic partners, none. Colleagues, Friedrich. Total number of close supportive relationships, 2. And one of those is a robot. Also, I don't know if I would consider Friedrich a close supportive relationship. Significant or stressful life events. Out of a job. Family, I do not wish to answer. Occupational, I am out of work currently. Grief, I'm grieving as much as expected of someone in my position. Other, my best friend has found himself in a state of disrepair. It will be resolved soon. What are your positive qualities? I am dedicated to doing my job efficiently and effectively. What plans do you have for the future? Fix KO, build a nice house for KO to live in. What are your goals for counseling? I am not sure. I do not wish to grieve anymore. Nothing else to mention. Makes me so sad. Balios. She was uncomfortable having no one, so she wrote someone to feel better about it. Oh, that's so sad. A star in need. Valor stood in his realm. It was no longer the maze of bookshelves. Instead, it was the form of a forge. It had been years since he had ever forged something, though his niece's book stood open on the table. On the recent page was the details of Light losing her legs. It hurt his soul knowing his niece was in pain, that she awoke to something so tragic. He had to fix it. He needed to help. So there he stood, hammer in his hand, pounding against metal. It was celestial metal, hard to get if not divine, harder to get without permission. His plan was simple: forge Light new and stronger prosthetics. He knew people on Solace could make her some, but they wouldn't be as strong. He took the schematics from Light's last prosthetic and updated it to her current age, allowing for a perfect fit. The clash of metal was the only noise in the room, beside the heavy breathing of the primordial. Then he heard footsteps. It was Adohim. Adohim? Adohim? Adonhim. Adonhim. How do I say this? Please. Of course it was. That damned being had nothing better to do than bother others. So you're making legs for the girl you claim as family. You know she won't need them in due time. It's just a waste of work. Add on him. Add on him is such a funny way to say it. I'm going to say that until I get corrected. As he walked around Valor and the anvil, the other didn't acknowledge him. Didn't even bother to look at him. Yet something felt different. The soul of this god was tainted with something. Something he had felt while training Balios. It was the tiniest sliver of the boy's soul. Why would he have it? Why would he need it? Something didn't add up, so he stayed quiet. He knew if he tried to comfort him, nothing would come out of it. So eventually he kept working, and eventually Adohim left, leaving him in his thoughts. He shook his head and continued. And finally the legs were done, and with a tenderness he engraved a spider near the ankle. He stood the legs up on the table and took a look at them. They looked like they were made from a part of the galaxy. Stars littered the metal, and what looked like a nebula was on the sides. They had to match, of course, and as a helpful guide he installed rose gold trimming to the edges of the metal plating, and rods so that Light knew where each part was without staring at one thing that looks the same all around. That would be boring. Valor looked at the legs, but then he felt like something was missing, something more light. So he got back to work making a cane. He did vanish for a moment to get a key ingredient, soul silver. It matches because of her background. And then he got back to work, crafting a blade to be hidden within the cane. The palm of the cane had a crow on it. It had red eyes and a little gem that triggered the unsheathing of the blade. He set it down next to the legs and had a proud smile. He then wrote a note on a piece of paper and then vanished with the items. He appeared in the hospital in a spectral form so as not to set off any alarms. He knew how mortals got when they had sudden visitors in the middle of the night. He also knew Light would be asleep from exhaustion. He rested the cane by her bedside, the note attached to the beak of the crow, and then he carefully, not to wake Light, attached the legs, noting any adjustment needed and using his magic to make them. Once he was finished, he covered her legs gently, and looked at Light with a smile. Despite everything, he's proud of her. He gently took her hand into hers, and squeezed it gently, allowing his energy to transfer into her. The energy he gave her allowed her to regain most of her energy back, along with healing any wounds the doctors may have missed. He then let go before she awoke and vanished, going back to his realm. Then we have To Speak Aloud. Waters Laura. Oh. Ooh. Pause this music so I can hear.
Reporting in. Yes, I got away from it safely. I'm in a cabin now on the other side of the planet. You know, the information inside was rather fascinating. No, I didn't overextend the stay. No damage. You fret too much. Listen, SV-15 was a mystery, even to the researchers. I find that fascinating. It was important to document it. Arguably, that is the core purpose of historical research. If we're following this trail, it's important to make note of all the other experiences along the journey. It might not necessarily be relevant, but all history has to make its place in some archive or another. I'll be damned if it skips a chapter in mine. Right. Fine. Back to business. As far as I could tell, the place has no association with the convict you're looking for. I know that sounds strange. The term INSEE is colloquial with them, but this SU INSEE does not seem like some extended branch of the organization. It's just a weather science facility in the ocean, underwater on a planet called Solus, in the sea. It's simple enough to me. It's a play on words. The exact same term can exist across numerous cultures with no exact thread of connection. They say there's no such thing as an original thought, after all. I couldn't ask. The man was nowhere to be found. There were some images on record, but no face. I suppose I couldn't exactly tell you if he was a Dorsa, and I suppose it's not entirely out of the question. But you and I both know how bad that can be. I promise you, I'll give it a proper investigation. The Dorsa have made it out all this way, after all this time. We've got some serious problems. Be prepared to run if this goes south. Do not worry about me. I'll find another way. May the leaves of Turvarna part ways for you.
That was so cool. Ooh, it's like, okay, so these people are here under suspicion that the Dorsa are connected to SUNC and Waters and everything, and they're looking for Waters. So Waters is currently MIA, and we don't know, like, what their intentions are here, which is so... I wonder what's gonna happen. Guys, trust Waters is safe and sound, sipping drinks out of coconuts on the beach, guys. Trust, guys. Definitely. Waters is fine. Hold on, I have a DM where I will go. By the way, if you've played on the server, I do have... some things to say about the server. So, Minecraft updated today, which means that we had to update Geyser so that Bedrock players could still join. Issue is there's something wrong. It's not letting Bedrock players on still. So I apologize to Bedrock players. We're trying to figure that out. Virgil should get back within 15 minutes from work. I'm gonna tell him. I'll pause the stream for a second and go tell him, like, here's what's going on. He'll take a look at it. We might need to update, like, paper or something. I already did, but I don't know. There might be something else. We might have to update the server itself, which is going to cause a whole other litany of issues. But yeah, that happened. Also, if you experience any network protocol errors, please let me know. I tried, so yesterday I turned off WorldGuard, which is one of our plugins that allows us to, make it so you can't break things in the, like, tutorial world, and, like, we can turn off certain settings like PvP, and, well, PvP is also a game role, but we use WorldGuard for that. And, like, mob griefing without messing with villagers and all of that. So I turned that off yesterday. It seemed like no network protocol errors really happened. Maybe, like, one. And then I turned it back on today, and tons of network protocol errors. And so I've turned it off again. So if you have any network protocol errors, please ping me every single, well, maybe not every time you get it, but, like, if you're getting it a lot, ping me. If you're getting it once, ping me. Don't ping me for every single time it happens to you, but please let me know when it happens so that I can judge whether or not WorldGuard is part of the issue. I'm really trying to fix the problem. But yeah. Okay. If a single person starts griefing while WorldGuard is off, I will show up at your home. Yep, Pancake will. I'll send her there. Oh god, sorry. Alright, Freya's return. I felt nothing. The gradual movement of the universe around me had been replaced by a thick, heavy sadness. It numbed every sense. Even the passage of time became meaningless. It could have been hours or months or millennia since Marcello's death. I didn't know, nor did I care. Nothing mattered to me except that he was gone and I wanted him back. The times I'd faced death before, I went to him for advice. He always gave such good advice, too. I figured he must have seen a lot of death in his own life, but he never talked about it. He was, a very private person, and I respected that. I loved him as I knew him. The past didn't matter. I ran my hand across the metal lid of Marcello's pod, each bump in the paint practically memorized. As long as I stayed here, he remained close to me. I could sit frozen at this point in time and never move forwards. Solace will be better without me anyway, I sighed. Mira is good at her job. She can handle it. The silence ate away at me every time. I had become so used to the constant noise on Solace that the void of space felt oddly foreign. I missed the noise. The bustling crowd during festivals, the laughter of my friends, Marcello's voice. Speaking of Mira, I sat up and kicked my legs out over the side of the pod. Do you think she and Dante did anything fun for their honeymoon? I tapped the cords on his jacket I was wearing and watched them float back and forth in front of me. You know, she had a picture of you I hadn't seen before displayed it for you at the ceremony. You were holding some fancy cords like these ones. It was cute. Marcello's pod continued its quiet journey through space. I placed my ear against the smooth metal and recalled the sound of Marcello's existence. His laugh, the occasional mumbling when working through something technical, the steady beat of his heart. The memory brought me brief happiness before the void of grief consumed it. Do you want me to check in on her? I sat up quickly, eager to shake off the feeling. I could hop over there real quick and report back on how she's doing. Marcello's pod remained quiet, but I knew he would want me to make sure she's happy. I floated alongside the pod, hesitant to leave in case something happened to him. I won't be more than a few minutes, I promise. After another moment, I let the pod slide away from me and blinked over to Solace. The first thing I noticed about the planet was that the Navy wasn't in orbit anymore. Did Friedrich finish helping them already? Based on the system's rotation, it had been a few months since I left, so that was certainly possible. I lowered into the planet's atmosphere, glancing at the moon on my way down. It was still untouched, as it should be. As I got closer to the city center, a dark gray cloud filled my vision. Maybe a thunderstorm? I descended further into the cloud and was completely surrounded by a thick haze. What is this? I thought. It wasn't a storm cloud. I had been in plenty of those before. I held my hands out in front of me to check my range of visibility, and I could see tiny gray specks fall onto my skin. Ash. I dropped immediately to the planet's surface and landed in a massive crater. Dirt walls as high as Mount Reed bordered the scar in the earth. Pieces of shredded metal were scattered across the valley, some small, some bigger than a house. Parts of the ground were in flames. This has to be the wrong place, I told myself. I misremembered where it was. I flew along the path of destruction until I reached a large object covered in dirt and soot. I wiped away the ash and revealed a logo with words I knew too well. Interstellar Navy of the Sol Pact Union. My back hit the rock wall of the crater hard as I jumped back. The panic I had tried to push down ignited like the fires surrounding me. I traveled along the valley, holding on to a final piece of hope that something was left intact. That hope was shattered as I reached the edge of the crater. The Arcturus land was gone. His cabin, his garden, the Theseus. Every last piece of Marcello I had left was gone. I turned to face the crater in its entirety. It stretched on for what seemed like forever. Everyone was gone. I glared down at my soot-covered hands, frozen. I left them, and now everyone is dead because of me. I wanted to leave again. I wanted to go back to Marcello and pretend everything was still okay. No, I scolded myself. I need to be brave. I opened my comms device to contact someone, anyone. Connection failed. Right, the towers Marcello built were destroyed. Of course they were. Everything he built was. The temptation to leave pulled at me again, but the guilt overruled it. I started sweeping the surface for survivors. Everything from Kindlegrim to the Arcturus land was rubble. Who would have survived this? Comet. I continued sweeping the ground all the way to the library. The building was shaken and still covered in ash, but intact. I yelled for Comet, Zinnia, anyone I could think of as I approached. No answer. The door of the building creaked and dirt fell as I opened it. Empty. I called out again. No response. The dust seemed to have reached every surface inside of the building as well. All but one white piece of paper sitting on the front desk. Relief washed over me as I read the note. Comet was alive, and possibly others. They moved to a new area in the east after the crash. With no hesitation, I dropped the note back onto the desk and phased through the wall. I needed to find them. I needed to help. It took me until the evening, but eventually the twinkling of lights in the distance came into view. I had no words to describe the emotion I felt as I prepared to reunite with the same people I had abandoned months ago. Fear, grief, guilt, relief, all mixed into a cloud like the one hovering over the crash site. As I flew closer, however, I noticed a single light away from the others. A lantern on a hill. Mira? And then we get the Freya and Mira talking. Ugh, this is gonna be awkward. The sun slowly set on the horizon, and still I did not feel any exhaustion. The clock dinged softly, marking the second sunset I've watched since I last slept. The stiff bed made my back hurt. I sat up, stretching with a groan. My eyes wandered to the side. Dante was sleeping on the bed. His hair was a mess, and small eye bags framed his eyes from trying to stay up with me the past couple of days. I slipped out of our bed as silently as I could, making sure not to wake him up as I changed into my regular clothes. "I'll be back," I whispered softly towards him before heading downstairs and outside. The street was not packed, but it wasn't empty either. People started making their small militias as soon as we started rebuilding. Some people turned to look at me as I walked by, murmurs, insults. Loud or low, I knew that they were talking about me. Some leader, A group of men sat at a stall, cards laid out as they played some kind of game I could not recognize. They say that she was asleep during the crash. Hope she had nice dreams, a man exclaimed, laughing as he took a swig of a drink. I glanced out of the corner of my eye, forcing my face to not scrunch at his comment. She's just like Freya, the group kept murmuring as I continued to walk away. My legs continued moving past the concrete of the small town roads and towards a hill. Trees and foliage slowly dampened the noise from the village. It was silent aside from the town of some bugs and a river nearby. I stopped at a clearing. It had short grass, a few wildflowers, and the moon shining down. The wind blew softly, carrying the smell of the river into the hill. I hung the lantern on a branch, the soft light shining the edge of the clearing as I sat more towards the river. My back hit the grass with a soft thud, my left arm behind my head to support it slightly. I could still hear the murmurs of the crowd, and the judgment and their hate. I could remember how they looked at me when we arrived at the safe area. I could remember how parents screamed for their children, how people ran around to find their loved ones. Failure after failure, no matter what, I was still weak. Nothing had changed. Not even when I spent sleepless nights helping. Not even when I gave it my all. This whole planet needs the help. They need me to help, and I still feel like the same helpless girl from 7 years ago. My right hand moved to cover my eye, the ball of my palm pressing against it gently. Don't cry. You can't cry now. I wiped against my eyelid, feeling a warm tear touch my palm. I opened my eyes slowly. The sky here was clear like back at the Arcturus. The constellations that Dad had named were easy for me to spot, and the few I couldn't spot were blocked by the tree line. My eyes slowly drifted to the moon. It felt like a mocking gesture. Frey could create it in seconds, yet couldn't help us when we needed it. My eyes moved to inspect the celestial object. Valleys, dents, dunes. The moon looked exactly like the picture I saw of Earth's moon. I kept staring, the air suddenly changing direction in a swoosh. I sat up, looking around the sky. A ship? Maybe a small travel plane? My eyes kept wandering around as the air moved into another direction, harsher this time. I moved to stand up, my legs slightly hurting from the harsh movement. My eyes kept looking around the sky. Probably a transporter. Transporter? I didn't know that was a thing. Or a transporter ship, maybe. I sighed, dusting off the leather jacket I had stolen from Dad's wardrobe after the funeral. Maybe I was hallucinating. Maybe I was finally going crazy. A hand ran over my face, fingers massaging my temples before I let out a sigh and let the arm rest at my side. The small light of the moon shone brighter as the moon continued to rise, coating the land in a soft gray light. Chirps of animals, a few frogs croaking, bugs buzzing, a step. My head turned slowly, expecting to see a small animal from the forest. Soul-packed colors. The golden cords were a bit washed out in a powder. The name tag was dusted, but I could still see the prominent M engraved on it. Dad? I took a step forward. My eyes stung before I paused, my hope dying as I looked up. She still had the same haircut, the same stupid bangs resting on her face. Ash covered her body, her clothes gray. Freya. My body relaxed for a second before I remembered that she left, before I remembered the dead, the injured, the missing. What the fuck are you doing here? I stepped forward again. Do you think you can fuck off and come back like nothing happened? Mira. Freya held out a hand and pulled it back sharply when she saw my expression. Where were you? Playing God somewhere else? I crossed my arms, seeing her stupid face try to gauge an expression. No, I was away. She broke eye contact and looked down at her shoes. I walked closer to her until I could smell the ash and the smell of some kind of rock. Oh, right. We were so mean that you left us without thinking what would happen. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I half expected her to start faking tears. It made me sick how she feigned sadness to convince people she actually cared. Are you dumb? I exclaimed, signaling around us. I think you saw the wreckage they made. You say you care. You say you can't help, but at every turn you never actually learn anything. I came here to check on you. She said it like I wanted her help. I've been keeping an eye on things. I was there at your wedding. I care about you, Mira. You only care about people when they're gone. I screamed at her face, feeling a lump in my throat as I remembered her promises. All the time she played with everyone's trust. That's why you didn't worry when Dad was being targeted. That's why you showed up after everyone already died in the crash. Freya was silent for once. Her expression shifted from sadness to a neutral, guarded stare. The edges of her form became fuzzy. She ran out of excuses again. I could see her panic. Where's Friedrich? She asked plainly, her form slowly gaining control, but her face remained neutral, uncanny to a degree. Friedrich and the rest of the fleet retreated. They should still be in the system. I studied her face. She kept her same stupid expression. I couldn't tell if she wanted to say something, but I didn't care to entertain her. Freya shuffled her feet awkwardly and then took a step back. Thanks. I won't bother you any longer. And with that, she flew off into the night. My hand moved to play with the zipper of the jacket. I looked around, the night still being lit by the moon. I sighed, looking at the moon again. Confusion, hurt, anger. I could feel all of it and still did not know why. Am I doing the right thing? Is she actually who you thought she was? I waited for any indication from any stupid supernatural power that haunted this planet to let me know what he would have wanted. I waited, and no one responded. Ah. And now Freya goes and sees Friedrich. It didn't... Oh! Hold on! It's Ariel! Oh, God! Oh, no, it's Calibri. Okay, good. I thought this was Ariel. Wait, I feel like Calibri isn't what I... Maybe it is what I used before. Whatever. It looks weird. It looks... This font looks dumb. Hold on. I can't look at it. What did I... I gotta find some other font. Maybe Nunito. No, it's also round. It's something about the... I don't like how round it is. Maybe use Veranda. There we go. Veranda. I can look at Veranda. I know, Virgil's gonna kill me if I use 10-point Arial. I'm not doing that. But I like reading 10-point Arial. It's easy to read. It didn't take me long to find Friedrich's fleet. They were gathered on the edge of the system for some reason, with their stealth generators running. Marcello had explained how certain mechanics of Navy ships worked to me early on, and I showed him how Lumerans see things through gravity signatures. The whole reason I saw the Arcturus in the first place was because it was in warp. There were only 4 ships in the fleet now, which confirmed that the crashed ship was one of Friedrich's. I phased through the hole and into a room where people were eating. Everyone froze and stared at me. One person screamed. Sorry! I held my hands up. I was so used to Solace where people wouldn't bat an eye at that. Could someone point me to Friedrich? The shocked silence hung in the air until someone brave enough piped up. Her office is in that direction, and an Othi man pointed shakily towards the center of the ship. Thank you. I nodded and walked through the staring crowd into the hallway. The ship was much bigger than the Arcturus, but I managed to locate the Admiral's office soon enough. Most of the doors had opened for me automatically, but this one didn't, so I stepped through it. Friedrich was sitting at her desk looking down at a datapad, a steaming mug in one hand. Hi, Friedrich. I waved in an attempt to make my presence less startling. It didn't seem to help. Friedrich jumped in her chair, almost spilling her drink, and stared wide-eyed at me for a few seconds. Oh, sorry. I shrunk down, sheepishly. The door wouldn't open. I saw the ship and the crater, and Mira told me where to find you. Never mind. She shook her head. Where have you been? Just away. Everyone blamed me for what happened last year, and I thought it would be better if I left. I cringed at the memory of everyone staring at me. The anger, the guilt I felt, wanting to change the past. I could see Friedrich's demeanor shift. She placed her cup down and gestured for me to take a seat. I don't think everyone blamed you, but I get it. Her voice was kind. She spoke the same way to me at the hospital. I wish I could just run away from it all myself sometimes. I perked up a bit at this knowledge. Friedrich was so powerful, so wise. It seemed to me like she had everything together. But she got scared? Is that why the ships are out here instead of around Solace? I questioned. Maybe whatever happened to the ship I saw made them fly off. Not exactly. She frowned. The cable was shot down. We're not sure who it was, but we're out here for safety. Shot down? I gripped the edge of the chair. By another ship? Yes, we think. Do you want me to show you the recordings of the event? She picked up her datapad once again. I hesitated. I didn't want to see more suffering than I had already witnessed, but I wanted to help. Yes, I nodded. Friedrich tapped a few buttons on her screen and slid it towards me. It was footage from the Cabo. A man pointed towards another ship. Oh, sorry, a camera pointed towards a man? A camera pointed towards another ship. The Cabo fired at them, and the shots disappeared when they got close. Shit, I whispered. The other ship fired back, and the footage ended soon afterwards. Friedrich took back the datapad. I would bet this has to do with Echo, I explained. Eclipse mentioned that their leader was similar to me. If that's the case, that would explain why your shots were disappearing. I opened my hand and created a few small rocks to demonstrate that made them disappear in an instant. They're being absorbed. Friedrich nodded and leaned back into her chair. How can we confirm this theory of yours? She didn't seem entirely convinced. What was the name of the ship? Euclid. Double shit, I muttered. I love Freya. I wrote that line and sorry. Actually, no. Virgil was the one that came up with that line, I think. It was Virgil or Ross. I remember they were both there. Freya saying double shit. Friedrich's response was interrupted by brief bewilderment. You know this ship? She leaned in, eyebrows raised. That's the name of the ship Eclipse came from. I almost spat her name. That pretty much settles it then. She sighed and added a note to her datapad. Are you back for good or just stopping in? I hesitated. Would they want me back after everything that happened? I want to help, but I'm worried I'll make things worse. I lowered my head. I don't want to get anyone else hurt or killed. Marcelo once expressed a similar concern to me, she reassured. My ears perked up at the mention of his name. I told him you just have to keep trying. Even if you fail, what you learn is worth failing for. I locked eyes with Friedrich. This was the person who Marcelo trusted, the person who he chose to contact first out of everyone else, the woman who had helped me wash his jacket. Okay, I'll stay. Friedrich smiled. Glad to hear it. We've got a lot of work to do. Hehehe. Double shit. Sorry, I'm getting a DM again. From Eros. So people memorialize deaths here. That's so interesting. I could care less for those who've fallen at my feet, and here they build statues and physical graves with a party called a funeral. Arrow. I love when people draw, like, their character, like, in-game. It's great. Mikal lore! Day 2. While I've only seen the sun fall and rise once, this short amount of time has felt like an eternity. I still feel... Virgil's back! Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to update Virgil on all of the stupid Bedrock stuff. But I also forgot to start my captions. I'm so sorry. But we have Mikal Diary. Yes. I still feel numb from the things I witnessed yesterday. I don't know if I'll ever feel happiness again. No! Those moments of father teaching me and raising me got snatched away from me before I had a chance to say goodbye and I love you. While thinking these things, I'm finally taking a look at the area I'm in. It's like nothing I've seen before. There's water everywhere and vegetation I don't even recognize. The only thing I see that seems remotely familiar to me are these Gorf-like beings? Gorf? That's like something Goofy would say. Oh, Gorf. Also, Rex and Mikal. Friends. Please, I need it. And Freya. All the, like, innocent, you know, innocent creatures that want to be accepted and have experienced loss. Guess which two people are in my next lore document? Is it Mikal and Rex? Please, please. Okay, I gotta read. I love them because they're tiny, slimy, and very friendly, and a couple of them as pets back home, but father wouldn't let me bring them with. Maybe the Gorfs here are just like the ones back home. Day 3. I've seen 2 days already on this new planet. I've already ran out of food, and I'm incredibly worried about eating anything here. Nothing is familiar, and I'm worried if I consume something harmful, then everything father did to me would have been in vain. Good news is that I've made a new friend. Seems like the Gorfs here are exactly like the ones back home. His name is Jemmy, and he's been keeping me company while I chill near the ship, making sure everything is protected. I've been talking to him about all the different things I'd do back home, and how father would always get mad at me for touching his stuff. The little guy doesn't seem to understand anything I'm saying, but Gorfs never did when I talked to them either. Is it a dog? I hope the little fella doesn't go anywhere anytime soon. He's really been a good companion. Day 4. I can't stop thinking about what happened to father. Even with the little sleep I've gotten, all I get is nightmares about him collapsing and the crash. Those couple hours I get of rest every day feel like an eternity just because of that. The pain I continue to feel makes me wish that this would all be some sort of sick joke of a dream. My little Gorf friend Jemmy has been great company. He's filling a little bit of the hole I have in my heart from not only leaving my pets, but also from losing father. I haven't eaten in a couple days now, and I'm starting to not only lose strength, but shrink in size as well. Just to maintain a normal size, I have to drink plenty of water, but because of how gross the area I'm in is, the water is completely undrinkable for me. I don't even feel comfortable trying to absorb it. While I'm still waiting for people to find me, I'm also hoping nobody finds me because there's a very high chance they'll look at me with disgust. Oh, that's so sad. Day 5. I don't think I've ever felt this horrible physically in my life. Just trying to write all these words out is making me lightheaded. I'm so scared of eating anything here, but at the same time, I feel like if I don't, I'll just die and make everything father did for me be all in vain. Jemmy seems to be doing well. I'm so jealous of him. He gets all these things to eat while I just get to sit and watch him. He's such a cutie, though, and when I finally get settled down, I want to keep him in a little terrarium. I can't seem to quite sleep well, and the nightmares seem to only be getting worse. Jemmy helps make the nights a little easier because he makes me feel safe, but I constantly wake up in a cold sweat from the pain I feel every time I live that horrible nightmare. Day 6. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I went to give Jemmy a hug, but because it's been days since my last meal, my strength to even hold up my human form wavered. He was about to absorb into me. Just writing this out makes me want to vomit. The hole in my heart grows ever bigger now. Even if I only knew him for a few days, he helped me get through them with ease. He was absorbed into... No! Oh, Frog! No! 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 Jemmy! No, this is so sad! Oh! The hole in my heart grows ever bigger now. Even if I only knew him for a few days, he helped me get through them with ease. Tears won't stop running down my face. First my father, now my new little friend. It's felt like a living hell ever since those events from a few days ago. I feel like nothing has gone right. What's worse is I haven't seen a single other thing that's familiar to me on this planet. All these new animals and plants scare me. While the animals seem to be eating them just fine, I'm worried about it if they might be poisonous to me. Even the water here looks like it'll kill me. I really miss my old home, my old life. It wasn't perfect, but I was happy being with father. Even when he didn't have a lot, he still gave it all to me. I miss him so much. I wish he would come back. Day 7. Father wasn't kidding when he said we could find people just like us on this planet. It's almost been a week, but somebody finally found our crash site. I was incredibly cautious at first, especially because they looked very scary. I was so scared, in fact, that I tried my best to hide amongst the rubble. Once I peeked my head out, I saw they had disappeared. Instead sat something small. I stared at it for a second and realized that another Gorf has come to stay with me. However, once I got close enough, the Gorf talked like a normal person. It took me a second to put 2 and 2 together, but I realized that this person who had come to save me can also shapeshift like myself. They call themselves Adolin! Good thing Frog and Froggy left the planet is a crazy thing to say. It was a name unlike anything I had ever heard. They said they were going around looking for anyone who might have crashed here on Solace. They seem like a good person, but I don't plan on getting my hopes up. For now, I'm being cautious and keeping my guard up. Hopefully, they can at least give me some food and water. I can still barely sleep at night, and now it's only made worse because I'm in the care of a stranger that I don't know. I'm hoping they have no ulterior motive, but for now, I'll have to keep alert. Cam and Adolin go searching for crash survivors, but not from the Cabo. Or, Adolin makes 2 new friends, who, in a way, are just like her. Yes! So, Adolin begins, circling around Cam as the 2 fly over the crater. Why aren't we sure? We aren't sure why exactly all these ships are crashing. Correct, Cam affirms, too distracted by his sensors to notice as Adolin does unnecessary flips through the air. In the coming days after the Cabo fell, multiple other ships crash-landed on Solace. Now, whether that was coincidence or caused by, I don't know. Debris from the Cabo hurling into space? There's no way to tell until we investigate further. Ada hums in thought, following along as Cam navigates towards the first crash site. Assignments had been split up between various parties. Cam and Adolin took it upon themselves to visit the 2 furthest sites, seeing as they could cover more ground given their abilities. Sorry, I thought I heard a knock. For whatever reason, Solace had become a hub of sorts for wayward ships. Something about the planet inexplicably seemed to draw people in. Call it coincidence or call it fate. Ada chooses to believe it's more of a miracle than anything. After all, if Solace never existed, all those people who crashed might have died out in space. Adolin finds herself wondering where Cam would have ended up had Solace never existed. The strange part is the sheer number of them. This many ships all crash landing on Solace at once, right after the Cabo was shot down? It can't be a coincidence. Then again, Adolin has no idea how spaceships actually work, so it's not like she could tell you why they're even crashing in the first place. As he flies, Cam periodically stops to recalibrate his scanners, or whatever it is he's doing. Ada doesn't have a clue. And adjusts the direction he's traveling in, whilst Adolin follows. Twirling through the air, she leaves streams of embers behind her in long, glimmering spirals. It's been so long since she's had this much fun flying, not to mention with a friend, too. She can't help herself from having a bit of fun. How are you doing that? Ada scrambles through the air, surprised when Cam speaks. He's been so focused on navigating, he hadn't spoken the entire voyage. Ah, flying, you mean? Yeah, it's impressive how much control you have over yourself. Took me a long time to figure out balancing and everything. Not to mention you're mainly propelling yourself with your feet. Adolin waves him off. Oh, please. It took me hundreds of years to learn how to fly this well. Really? A flush finds its way onto Ada's cheeks. Yes, actually, I was the last of my siblings to learn how to fly. Antos was always the best at it, between the 3 of us. Cameron giggles beside her. Yeah, I'm sure that went straight to his ego. Oh, he has no idea. Antos was always so smug when it came to flying. She could picture him now. If he were here, he'd probably smirk at her and stick out his tongue, before blasting off to perform triple somersaults in the clouds. His glasses would always fall off, and Adrian would scold him, even if they'd secretly laugh before Antos came back down. Something tightens within Adelin's chest. She breaks the moment of quiet with an offering. I could teach you sometime. To do tricks and such. She pauses, embarrassed. If you would like. Cam smiles behind the mask. Sure, why not? Suddenly, his attention is stolen away as a much smaller crater comes into view. Oh shit! Ada, currently upside down, flips her body and turns towards the wreckage. The ship appears to have crashed into a hill, taking a chunk out of it in the process. The hull is crushed and dented from the impact. Parts of the sheet metal is melted off and scattered. Grass in the surrounding area is scorched, and rubble sits atop of the vessel, of which seems quite intact, all things considered. Salvageable, even. I'm not picking up any heat signatures inside the ship, Cam mutters, sweeping the rest of the crash site. Several piles of debris surround them, mostly soil, others metal scrap. Wait, there, underneath that pile. Cam barrels towards a large mound of dirt and stone, landing and dropping to his knees. Ada, help me out. There's someone in here. Ada follows suit, appearing next to Cam in the blink of an eye. The two dig with their hands, tossing aside roots and shrapnel. Cam flinches as a particularly large chunk of stone whizzes past him. They keep digging, deeper and deeper. The soul that Adolin senses growing stronger yet. Fuck! Cam jolts away in shock, kicking up dirt as he pushes back with his feet. While he continues to curse underneath his breath, Adolin prepares herself for the sight of Gore peering into the hole, only to be met with a row of blindingly white teeth smiling up at her. Hello? She calls after a moment, and the person shifts as if arising from slumber. It bursts out of the ground, dirt cascading around it as its back straightens. Hello there! The person's smile does not fall as it greets Adolin, waving in a stiff, almost robotic motion. Dirt falls onto its eyelashes, but it does not blink. Without missing a beat, Adolin returns the smile, offering a hand. Are you all right down there? The person stares at her, eyes flicking to her hand, then back to her face. Or would you like to be helped up? Yes, I would love that, he replies, though he does not take her hand. A few seconds pass, the two of them staring at each other. The person doesn't seem to understand what she's offering. Oh, why don't I just... After a few more uncomfortable seconds pass, Adolin reaches her arms out and grabs him under the armpits, pulling him up out of the hole like a prize vegetable. Gently, she places him down on the grass, dusting off his vest in a motherly fashion. There you are. Now, are you all right? She repeats, looking him over for injuries. He takes a moment to process, tilting his head up to meet her eyes. Quiet, he answers. Ada presumes he means to say quite. I didn't mean to frighten you two. I was just having a lovely nap. Smile never dropping, he speaks in a chipper tone, as if he has no idea that sleeping underground is abnormal. Before she can question him further, the sound of Cam grunting as he rises to his feet breaks her train of thought. Are they injured? Cam asks as he approaches the two. He glances at the whole person, avoiding eye contact. Adolin shakes her head, but continues to look over him anyway. For just having pulled him out of the ground, she notices that his clothes are suspiciously clean and wrinkle-free. Cam, now in full rescue autopilot, pushes her aside to perform his own overview. He grabs its wrist to check for a pulse, feeling nothing. When he looks up at the person, it simply smiles back, its expression seemingly static. Well, it hasn't dropped dead yet, so whatever. Cam continues, checking for bleeding and whatnot, whilst asking various questions. Do you know where you are? Do you know what happened? Do you remember your name? I'm Rex, he answered to the latter. It's nice to meet you. I hope we become good friends. Cam grimaces behind his mask. Right. Well, I'm Cameron Kovacs. I'm one of the people in charge around here. He pauses. Well, I was until the Navy took over. When he extends his hand to shake, Rex once again stares blankly at it. Luckily, Adolin barges in and cuts through the awkwardness, grabbing Rex's hand and shaking it enthusiastically. My name is Adolin Casimir, and I would love to be friends with you, if you would like. She returns as I can tell how I can just feel Ross's love for Rex as the character through this. She returns a seemingly permanent grin with her own, beaming with excitement. Ahem. Cam clears his throat. Before we get too carried away, there's another crash we need to investigate. Rex, would you like us to escort you to base camp? Just to make sure you don't have any internal injuries? Rex shifts on his feet, though his smile doesn't waver. I'm feeling okay on the insides. You sure? We can get you set up with a tent to sleep in, as well as supplies, rations, and such. Rex seems to perk up at the mention of rations, and Cam chuckles. All right, then. Ada, mind escorting him back? The next site isn't far. I'll check it out myself and call for backup if I need it. With a nod, Adolin starts to hover above the ground, flames lapping at her paws. When she turns to Rex, however, his eyes widen and he takes a step backwards. His perfect posture falters as he slightly hunches into a defensive position. Following his gaze, Ada notices that he's staring at her feet. He's afraid, she realizes. Of fire, or of flying. She does not know. Either way, the feeling of being feared is all too familiar to her, and she cannot entirely blame him. Why don't you take him? Adeli drops. Adeli? Adeli? Flames extinguishing as her paws touch the soil. Rex visibly expresses his relief, as his back straightening as he reassumes his perfect posture. It'll be safer with you carrying him after all. Are you sure? Cam questions, his voice strained. You don't know where the next crash site is. Ada pauses, closing her eyes and concentrating. Well, I know that it is north. After a moment, she opens them, pointing northeast. About 15 miles this way, yes? Though nobody can see it, Cam's expression gives away both his amazement and his dread. Yeah, something like that. Perfect. I will handle this mission myself, then. In an instant, Aelin takes to the skies, waving as she propels herself forwards. She calls something to Cameron, probably a goodbye, but he can't hear it over the sound of her takeoff. With a sigh, he turns to Rex, holding out his arms. We better start heading back then, almost dark out. Ah, Rex begins, looking him up and down. I can't say I'm a big fan of heights. Just keep your eyes closed. Aelin soars over the scorched, beaten land, grass becoming moss and dirt becoming mud as swamplands overtook the fields. Oranges and yellows began to flood the sky as sunset approached, fireflies slowly emerging and filling the air like tiny stars. Orchids sway in the wind as Aelin lowers, weaving between the trees and tall marshy grass. She closes her eyes, searching for a nearby soul, and when she opens them, she finds herself facing a clearing. Multiple trees had been mowed down in the impact, lying in the swamp in splinters. Bits and pieces of metal were strewn around, some sticking out of the mud, others wedged in still-standing mangroves. In the center, half buried in murky water, laid what once was a small ship. Compared to what remained of Rex's vessel, you could hardly tell what this one was supposed to be. Wincing as her paws sink into the marsh beneath her, Aelin touches down in front of the wreckage. A shiver runs down her spine, and she tugs her pant legs above the water. Looking around, she searches for signs of life, wading through the swamp and peering into the rubble, only to meet wide eyes staring back at her. With a short eep, the figure retreats further inside the remains of the ship, as they stumble backwards, the rubble shifts. At any moment, it could collapse and crush them. Aelin considers diving in after them, but the way they looked at her, she's certain they're already terrified. Ada pauses to consider her next move. The feeling of her soaking paws reminds her that she's already unable to fly, so that's one step towards disarming herself. What would make her less frightening? Making herself look smaller, perhaps? She searches around for something, anything to give her an idea, and in the corner of eye she spots a frog on a lily pad. It blinks at her, one eye at a time. Small, unthreatening, adorable. Perfect. After a few minutes have passed, Mikal builds up the courage to peer outside of the rubble that's become their new home. Relief floods their systems when they realize the tall, ominous person is gone. Sighing, Mikal slowly drags themselves out of the wreckage, eyes darting around the clearing in case that person's still around somewhere. When Mikal turns their attention back in front of them, however, they notice something that wasn't there before. It's another one of those gorfs, sitting on a large mossy stone. This one is peculiar, though, its skin an off-white, almost pinkish color. It then stares at Mikal with expectant eyes, lips upturned in what almost resembles a smile. And then it speaks. Hello there, it begins, causing Mikal to jolt backwards. I don't mean to frighten you. Mikal stares at the gorf. Gorfs don't talk here, right? Jemmy never spoke to them anyways. Maybe this gorf is different, somehow, or maybe it isn't a gorf at all, Mikal realizes. There's no way that but maybe it's possible? Maybe there are others like Mikal here? Are you... They're hesitant to speak, but they push through the anxiety, slowly re-emerging from the ruins. Are you a shapeshifter? The gorf seems to giggle in response. Something like that. Mikal feels another wave of relief wash over them, followed by exhaustion setting in. Their humanoid form begins to slip, despite their best efforts to hold it, not entirely convinced of this mysterious gorf woman's intentions. Are you here to rescue me? Yes, the gorf reassures. Me and my friends have been searching for survivors. I came here to make sure you were all right, and to bring you back to the others. Friends? Others? Mikal tilts their head. How many others? Others like us? Some are like us, they answer. Some are not. You need not to be afraid of them. Everyone here will welcome you. Mikal wrings their hands together. Are you sure? The gorf chuckles as a sparkling pink mist emerges, surrounding them. In the blink of an eye, the woman from before is crouching where the gorf once sat, extending a hand towards Mikal. There's only one way to find out. She smiles, and Mikal can tell she's trying to hide her teeth. Something burns inside of them. Finally, they've met someone just like them. Someone who understands how they feel inside. Part of them wants to feel happy, despite the overbearing sorrow within. Her kindness, it's hard to reject. It radiates off of her like the sun, warm, and almost blinding, just like father. Mikal hesitates once more before taking a deep breath, in and then out. Okay. They reach for her hand, and when she tugs them to their feet, she holds theirs tightly. I would offer to fly you back, she begins, leading Mikal out of the wreckage, but I'm afraid we'll have to wait for my paws to dry. Perhaps while we walk, you could tell me a bit about yourself? How you ended... Oh, thank you. How you ended up here? That was fast. Mikal smiles sheepishly. Sure, but, I'm not good at talking about myself. Well, why don't we start with your name? Mikal. My name is Mikal. That's a lovely name, Mikal. She guides them through the marsh and onto solid land. The two trek through mud and tall grass, fireflies dancing through the darkening sky. Their faint glow illuminates Mikal's gelatinous form as it becomes less and less human. Though as their fingers slowly melt together, the woman keeps hold of them tightly. My name is Adolin. I hope that you and I can become friends. Ah, that was great. Ah, I want all of them to be friends and everything to be happy and nothing bad to happen ever. From Spawn. Oh, I have more DMs. Hold on, I gotta respond. Sorry, I have like 3 different DMs right now. Okay. The start of meeting an old friend. Yippee. Many sounds filled the air. The wind, the murmurs of people in the distance, the sound of dried dead grass crunching under Starry's feet, and the faint tinkling sound of keychains on her hip. Starry comes to a stop, standing on a hill, looking at the side of the ship and people talking. Her eyes scanning, seeing new people in those uniforms, like Marcello, and seeing familiar faces. Starry takes a step as she thinks some. Maybe she should join them? Meet the new people? Maybe talk to Ward Comet, Kron, and Croy? No. Starry takes a step back as she shakes her head. What is she even thinking? These people. No, she ruined her relationship with them. Ruined her family unit. Comet hates her. Croy also, probably. Kron. Fuck, she broke their mask. Yeah, she fixed it, but they're probably traumatized. They're probably scared of her. Starry pushes her bangs back with her hand as she sighs, trying to snap out of another spiral. She doesn't exactly have Snow, Yuki, to rely on after all. It's not her fault Yuki left either, but damn, it feels like it. After she said what happened, what was wrong, Yuki left to find her wife, girlfriend, bring her to this planet, to home. Starry's hand lowers from her head to the back of her neck with a sigh, her other hand going into her jacket pocket. Maybe Dad was right. I do break everything I touch. Suddenly, she hears a new sound as her ears perk up. A whoosh? With a small ding, like a video game coin being picked up. Almost like a portal opening? She looks behind her, seeing a golden transportation, a device she's seen once before she came here to this planet, and... Connor? Hey, kiddo. Oh? Who is this? Who is Connor? We have Mira intake form. I'm ready for this. Mira Archer, 10/7/2478. Usian. Humans call me Elf. Female, married, no children, lives with husband. Leader of a local community and working for a team. Refer to peacekeepers. Reasons for your visit. Recent events that have happened within the last year. Loss of limb, family loss, the crash, and other incidents. How intense is your emotional distress? 8. I guess I panic sometimes. How much do the problems affect your daily life? 9. Insomnia counts, right? When did these problems start? Last year, but have gotten worse. Currently dealing with phantom pain. Please describe your current habits in each of the following areas. Occasional drinking, moderately daily caffeine intake, daily exercise, eating when I have time, sleeping meh, fun and relaxation, don't have time. Please describe your relationship with the following people. Mother figure, vanished, wasn't close. Father figure, close, dead. Siblings, vanished, not close. Extended family, never met. No children. Friends, kind of close, some left before the crash. Romantic partners, close. Colleagues trust entirely. Total number of close supportive relationships 4. 1 is missing. Current significant or stressful life events. Health, lost arm in an accident, can't remember fully. Family, dead parent, family vanished. Social, leader figure, close friend is missing. Occupational, I'm supposed to help since Freya left. Grief, parent died in an accident. What are your positive qualities? What do you like about yourself? I like to think I am smart. My husband says I always try too much. Plans for the future. Be the person this planet needs. Learn to not be weak. What are your goals for counseling? IDK. Is there anything else you'd like to mention? My husband is the one making me come here. He's worried, so please just play along. I have work to do. Oh yeah, I'm sure she'll play along. Your greed sickens me. Warning for minor self-harm and minor violence. This has not been approved. Has this been read? Have any lore helpers read this? I'm worried about the self-harm specifically tag. I know it's light specifically, but no one, like, people reviewed... Oh, wait! Did this get posted... This got posted after the stream, so I'll read it next week. I need to do some things anyway. It was cut on the palm. That's fair, that's fair. But I do want to keep my rule of... because then I would also read all of this. And I do want to read all of this, but we'll save it for next week, because we can end right on 2 hours on the dot. This was a great Lore Tuesday. I have some other stuff that I have to handle as well. So yeah, I keep trying to think. First of all, I'm going to try to fix the server thing so Bedrock players can join again. Fire entries, yes. Oh, they're best friends? Awesome. Excited for Connor and Starry lore. Alright. I will see you next week. Well, actually, okay, I do want to say, for those of you who are interested, we have, well, okay, I haven't put it up on the thing yet, but I'm going to set up, faction meetings again now that Freya is back. So that'll be fun. If you have some things that you want to say to Freya, we can do just a Lore Tuesday entry thing, or you can yell at her at the faction meeting. That'd be great. I'm sure she's gonna love that. Yippee! I love faction meetings. It's the best way to interact. Also, if anyone has ideas for more, like, weekly things, they will probably be Sundays. I have to talk to Virgil because we do RPG stuff Saturday nights, and now with his job, he doesn't have Friday to, like, set things up. So we might move them to Sundays. We might not. We'll figure it out. But probably Sundays. Same time as before, like 4 o'clock or what we did. Same time that Lore Tuesday streams start now. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you all next week. Bye!